Have a seat on your porcelain throne. It's time to talk some shit on the Powell movement.
Welcome to the Powell movement. I'm your host, Mike Powell, and thank God the Olympics are over. While I'm not a fan of all of the sports, some of them are cool. But this year, like everything else in our country, politics ruined it. I went on my rant about what Trump said about Hunter Hess a couple weeks ago, and you know what? After that, I really wish more of our Olympians were like Hunter. I don't know what the PC term for pussies is these days, but that's what our athletes are as a whole when it comes to standing up for what you believe in. Sure, I get it. There are some athletes, probably most athletes, that want nothing to do with mixing politics and sports. I get that. But there are athletes who do want to make a difference, and these are the people I'm disappointed in. I mean, most of these athletes, they're in obscure sports that only shine at the Olympics. And most of them are going to go home to the reality that all the work they put in for gold their whole lives didn't matter, and they'll be forgotten. Is that fair to say? Not really, because just making the Olympics is a huge accomplishment. And while you're not a loser if you don't make an Olympic podium, you didn't win, and you didn't get second, and you didn't get third. So I don't know if that's a loser in fourth place, but you're not a winner. At least you get an Olympic ring for making the team and all your blood, sweat, and tears, and then you will be forgotten. I mean, I'm trying to think of Olympians that aren't medalists right now, and I can't. But I can tell you who won gold, because that's how it works. But if one of these athletes really wanted to make a difference, they would have spoken up about how they feel about what is going on in our country. And sure, that opens up that person to half of the country hating them. But if you're a person that wants to make a difference in the world, and a lot of young people act that way, fucking do it when you actually matter. Going to a street corner with a handwritten sign doesn't mean shit if you aren't willing to share your mind with the masses. That's how you make a difference. It would be best if our gold medalists would speak their truth, but really, having anyone say anything with passion would have created a hero this country really needs. But at the end of the games, there was no hero. There was just a bunch of clowns celebrating gold with the golden arches. How McFucking stupid is that? That's my intro, and while I didn't have as much to talk about this week, I mean, sure, I could go off on another tangent, but I'm not going to because in the spirit of my guest, who's a man of few words, I'm going to cut this intro short and I'm going to get into introducing my guest, Tanner Rainville. Tanner is one of those under-the-radar legends, a guy who's had at least one video segment each season with outfits like Level 1, MSP, TGR, Warren Miller. I think he did something with the Legs of Steel, and he's done that every year for the past 23, 24 years. And before that, back in the early 2000s, Tanner was focused on contests. So he's a man of many talents. But I'll say the talent that Tanner doesn't have is the PR and self-promotion talent, because that's not on the top of Tanner's priority list. He likes to ski and let his skiing do the talking, and that's what he's all about. He doesn't do big interviews. He's not that active on social media. He just exists to ski. And with a guy like that, I needed to pepper him with questions to get his proper story out there. And I think I did a good job with that. And you can listen and let me know. If you liked it, or if you want to buy stickers or tents or banners for me, or you have a guest suggestion, you can email me at mike@thepowellmovement.com and I will get back to you. You could also drop an iTunes or Spotify comment. That also really helps me in the algorithm. I thank you for doing that. Finally, the most important thing that you can do for me is supporting my incredible sponsors who make this show happen. I'm talking about Elan Skis, Outdoor Research, Best Day Brewing, and Insta360 Video. Now, it's time to chat with Tanner Rainville. I guess I should start out with the Olympics just ended. You were a contest kid back in the day. Do you watch competitions at all these days?
I watch some for sure. I don't pay attention a ton, but yeah, I'll still check in on some stuff and watch some kids.
I mean, is there anybody that kind of catches your eye? Like, whoa, I like that kid's style.
I like watching Mac forehand for sure. I like what he's doing. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, contests are nuts these days, man. It's just wild to see what's happening and where it's gone.
How about when you were a Grom in the Stowe days? Who were the dudes that you looked up to when you were coming up?
Yeah, so I looked up a lot to, Ben Grunow. God, who else was skiing there? Emil Cody, Wyatt Carter, Dave Crichton, Three Phils, that whole scene on the East Coast. Super thriving back then, and those guys were kind of at the forefront, and Jeff Winterton taking photos, and Andy Woods, God, that was just a lot of momentum back then.
And then when you start getting older and you're still skiing in the park and contests, but you're also getting into the backcountry and skiing a little bit more powder, did you take influence from those Nimbus guys? Because looking at your skiing over the past 20 years, there's been so many butter variations. Was that influence from them, or were you doing that shit before them?
That was kind of all at the same time, right? Like, I moved out to Mammoth in 2003, and just skiing Mammoth was like the first, bigger mountain stuff I'd done versus East Coast, and just being there and experiencing those winters was incredible. And skiing around with the crew that was there, I guess like Garrett Russell was doing tons of butter stuff back then also, and probably was the first person I'd seen even butter back then, 2003. So, like, I don't know, like, we're all skiing together, and I feel like that just, like, was a thing of the times back then, and those guys absolutely crushed that, with their vision there, and it's super cool.
So a lot of the people we're talking about have an influence on your style and how your skiing has progressed over the past 20 years. But when you think of where you are right now and who you're with right now, you're with a bunch of other people that have influenced your style for the past 20 years as well. Like, who's the crew that you're with and what are you up to?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm up here in Cooke City, Montana right now with Adam DeLorme, Chris Logan, and Thane. And yeah, it's awesome. We're just kind of boys trip for the week, and it's snowing. We lucked out. They got a great snowpack. But yeah, growing up, skiing with all those dudes. I mean, all our homies for years now. Yeah, 20 plus years. So it's rad to keep it going, and we're still having a great time.
And we'll talk about that history with those dudes. But coming up for you, it's West Bolton, Vermont. And is that pretty much growing up 15 minutes from Stowe?
No. So West Bolton's kind of on the western side of the Green Mountains, kind of the spine there. So really close. I'm probably 15 minutes from Bolton Valley ski area, which I grew up skiing kind of first. Dad patrolled there back in the day, and also patrolled Smugglers and Stowe while I was in high school. So Stowe was kind of later, like high school for me. Did the academy there. But yeah, Stowe's probably, I don't know, 30, 45 from my house.
And the academy, when you go to that school, like what other skiers are at the academy at that time? Because I feel like you've got a bunch of elite skiers across the board, whether it's racing, freeride, whatever, at that school.
Yeah, no, it was pretty wild. Definitely, I was the only freestyle athlete there. Is all pretty race focused. And I got to give big credit to Yanni Adams and Charlie Adams. Took me under the wing and got me in there, and yeah, got lucky and got some scholarships to there, and that was a massive help for me back in the day.
Before you went to that school, were you more of a mogul guy? Were you like wearing fake knee pads and Johnny Mosley all about that?
Oh yeah, dude, Predator wear, dude, out of Cali. Yeah, wearing Predator wear and doing the East Coast mogul circuit for sure. Was lucky enough to do that, and then it kind of just progressed from moguls, and like the whole free skiing scene kind of like took off in those years, and I just followed it.
I mean, did you have that moment like a lot of people where you're just like sick of just doing a bump run and that's it?
Yeah, no, 100%. I was like, yeah, no, this stuff's way fucking cooler. I want to go do this, and like obviously had some early success. Like I remember like they used to have a mogul comp, but then like do a separate like big air and do that. And I remember winning one. Actually, I was out in Vail one year just on a family vacation. Did a mogul comp in Vail, but they had like a separate big air kind of deal, and it was just on like the bottom jump, the mogul course. And I think I did like probably like a D-spin 7 or something. Freaking won it, and I was like, oh, this is the new stuff. So
I mean, is this when you're 14 years old or something like that? Like really young, but just getting out of moguls?
Really young. Yeah, I don't even know if I was 14. It was very early on, and then things kind of just took off with the whole free skiing scene. And after high school, I mean, I was pretty set before I graduated, like knew I wanted to just pursue skiing, and already, had that kind of success mogul skiing / freaking all the new freestyle stuff or comp scene back in the day, and just went with it.
I mean, when you were coming up at that point, it was the time when there was like rail jams every weekend in the early season, and then there were a lot of comps as well. So are you doing all those things?
Yeah, it's a bunch of comps and shit like that, but like more so it's just skiing a lot and just skiing with friends, and didn't really focus, I guess, on contests until I was like really out of high school, and more so I'd say I didn't really enter contests and stuff until 2003-ish.
Did you have a connection with Dynastar before you moved out to California?
I did, yeah, for sure. Like Charlie Adams, like I said, big influence on my ski career, really. And Botany, he kind of came in with Dynastar, and they built the whole Troublemaker team back then. The three Phils, Mikhail Crichton, Liam Downey, Duncan, myself. Yeah, that was incredible. That was paramount to my freaking success.
I mean, Novotny put together that team, and it seemed like Dynastar had a powerhouse thing going on.
We did.
And you were like the up-and-comer almost in that whole group. Did you get to ski with Mikhail and all those people?
Mikhail I met later on, but like skiing at the three Phils and Creighton, like I remember going up to like Mont Tremblant, doing it was probably like a free skier or something up there, like rail jam, or I don't even know what they used to call it, but they used to throw something, and I was just like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm skiing with, Dave Creighton and three Phils right now. And I remember seeing Casaubon. Casaubon was probably like 10 years old or something, and he won a rail jam in the streets of Mont Tremblant. It was rad.
That's so crazy. Yeah, and they had, who else did they have? Vanuler and Dan Marion and people like that as well?
Oh, yeah, jeez. And Vanuler and Marion. I mean, Vanuler was, everyone. It was just a super tight East Coast squad, and it was great times.
And then you had like Sean Decker and Sean Logan, which were part of the crew back then. I think they had SAS Films or whatever they had. And they moved out to Mammoth the year before you graduated high school.
Yeah, growing up just East Coast moguls, like, we all knew each other. Like, Sean Decker, Sean Logan, Chris, Ahmet Dadali, Garai, all of them. Like, I'd see them almost every weekend doing moguls.
You guys create a bond that way. Then when you move out to California, is it like you have a full-on crew there when you get there because those guys have already figured out the lay of the land?
Yeah, it's wild because, like, I took off with a career, and these guys, were just coming up and always having a great time with them, and they're following my lead, I guess.
You're out there, and what does it look like that first year? Are you totally dirtbagging it, just like living in a corner in Mammoth?
Yeah, so there's this shop, local shop, skier shop back in the day. They had a headquarters in Stowe and tried to open one in Mammoth. I had like a part-time job there. Yeah, and then really like my ski career and contest went well, and I was like, well, I'm doing this full time. Like, I could support myself literally skiing, which was, the dream. But yeah, I moved out there with that goal in mind. And just, skied a shitload, dude. Skied every day. And just skiing the park back then, in Mammoth was the spot. And everything kind of just flowed from there, man. Like, I met Matchstick filmers there, and they're like, oh, let's film some stuff. That's kind of how I got a segment yearbook just from, like, the filmer, seeing me in Mammoth. And they're like, oh, let's film this kid. It was wild, man. Wild times.
You had so many different things happen that first year. It was like you came out there and it was a roller coaster from the beginning. So, you're working part-time in a shop and stuff like that. But it was the Unbound Terrain Park time, and it was like Mammoth was the epicenter of everything that had to do with slopestyle.
Oh, 100%. It was just going.
Every skier was there. And who was blowing your mind then? When you got there and you came from the East Coast, who were you like, holy shit, that guy in person is fucking incredible?
Everyone, dude. Like Pap was skiing around. I mean, T Hall, CR. I mean, did a lot. Ended up, linking up with those guys a lot back then, and filming with, just hanging with those dudes. And I guess that was probably more 05, 06. But yeah, that first year, just skiing a lot with Sean Decker and Sean Logan and Bernie Rosso, and just the crew in Mammoth. I mean, Chris Benchetler. God, it was just freaking amazing times.
You know what's crazy is you say Bernie Rosso, and that's a guy I really have never known, but I've emailed with him before, and he's kind of had like a long career, but it hasn't really been a career. There's been like something where he skis really well, but he's never been associated with brands that have ever really promoted him. Have you ever noticed that?
He's a professional ski bum. Bernie's fucking just dedicated dude and loves it. He loves the sport.
Yeah, I've never known him, but I've always noticed that. It's like his name's always there and people are always talking about him, but the brands aren't talking about him.
Right. No, and I don't think he really minds. Just kind of does his deal and has his time.
And I would say there's something similar to you, except for the brands have talked about you, but like where he probably lets his skiing do the talking. That's how you've always rolled, right? Like you're not a marketing machine. You're like, hey, my skiing every year for the past 23 years, I've put out segments with like the best film companies ever.
Yeah, I just kind of, let skiing do the talking for sure. And I don't really stress over the deals and all that whatnot. And, just if you're doing well, obviously you get rewarded. And if I could have pressured some areas more than others, but like I'm extremely content on what I've done and how it all turned out.
Well, dude, I mean, you look at your career and from what, 2000, I mean, you're competing from like 2003 to 2000.
What, 20 years?
Yeah, 20 years, but every year with a major movie part. So when I think of people that have had that kind of longevity, I mean, T. Hall's been out there as long as you have, and he puts out movie parts every year when he's healthy. Forever. You've only had 1 year off from a shoulder that you didn't have a movie part out or a full segment.
Yeah, there was one time that was, like longest level 1 fucking segment standing, but maybe Wiley beat me out. I can't remember who ended up beating me out, but there was just years where we were in it and times were great. People were throwing money at the sport and we're having a time.
I just can't think of that many other people. Mark Abma, I guess he's had a long career like yours.
Abma's king. Yeah, Abma's still rolling. Keep it going, Abma.
And so take it back to your contests. And early on, I mean, that first year, there was like a Vermont Open where you got a switch run where people were like, holy shit, this is that kid from the Stowe TGR segment or whatever. Then you go to Colorado for the U.S. Open. And did you have to qualify for that? Or was it like a long, long day where you had to make it through all the rounds to get to the final?
I think I did through the whole day. Yeah, that what I would consider my like breakthrough contest, I guess, like for sure. I mean, I was just out skiing Mammoth before that, and went to the U.S. Open because that was like the contest to do back then. And then I placed well, and it just spiraled from there. Like opportunities were freaking ready,
And that was the big contest. If you were to podium at that contest, everybody knew who you were in the ski industry. You happened to bump Tanner Hall off the podium. I mean, when they're calling third place and they say Tanner, are you both getting up?
Probably. I don't know. I mean, that was a wild moment for sure.
He's one of those dudes, even at that time, he was a much bigger name than yourself, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was already a very massive name. I think I was probably skiing, on the scratch, which is like T. Hall and Evan Rapps and all those dudes. Like, that ski was a huge deal back then.
So while you're this chill, laid-back dude, are you also mind-blown and starstruck at the same time?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, it was all great times with those dudes. I mean, I lived with Evan Rapps and Reno and spent a lot of time with CR and Tanner filming, Pop Your Bottles and all that. We're just, homies.
It's time for my first sponsor break, and I'm going to start with longtime sponsor Elan Skis. And if you haven't skied on an award-winning ripstick yet, you're missing out on something that ski brands have long said wasn't an option. A lightweight ski that powers through anything and truly rips. It's game-changing. And Elan, while they've been around for 80 years, have been changing the game of modern skiing by doing things like adding side cut to straight skis with the Elan SCX, which changed the whole industry. They're building skis by skiers in a place with ski culture in the Slovenian Alps. And most importantly, they're supporting local shops. When the competition goes and starts selling direct, Elan sticks by their retailers who have been by them since the beginning. Elan is just built differently, and they innovate with a purpose, and that's to make your on-snow experience better, easier, and more fun. It's this approach that brought you the Ripstick and all of their award-winning skis. And when you're in the market for a new pair, Visit an Elan retailer, demo a pair of their skis, and you'll know why Elan has built a cult following here in the States. To find out more about all the skis or to find an Elan dealer, head on over to elanskis.com. Next up, it's Insta360 action cameras, the only 360 camera that matters these days. These are the best action cameras on the market. They capture everything around you in 8K 360-degree video. It's next to impossible to miss the shot, and your footage won't be shaky thanks to the super smooth stabilization system, which is so important when you're on the mountain. Insta360 developed their X5 and X4 Air cameras with skiers and snowboarders in mind, which means they feature a freeze-proof design, batteries with longer run times, and a super durable design that will have you getting footage from the park to powder. And when it comes to editing that footage, Insta360's proprietary editing program makes it easier than ever to create Hollywood-level content or just a simple edit for you and your friends to enjoy. It's easy. Insta360 is the best action camera on the market, and for listening to the Powell Movement, they're going to give you a special offer. When you head on over to Insta360.com, they're holding a ski bundle sale for their flagship 360-degree action cameras, including the X5 and X4 Air cameras. When you're at checkout after you make your purchase, enter the code POWELL, that's capital P-O-W-E-L-L, and you're going to get a free ski pole mount from the good folks at Insta360 cameras. You didn't get starstruck because you lived with Evan in Reno, but this is even before that. This is like your first year out in California, and everything's kind of happening so fast. I mean, did it feel like almost not overwhelming, but like, holy shit, I made it, and it happened really fast?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was definitely like, whoa, I'm here doing it. Those were definitely wild times, man. Like, pressure's on, do it. And freaking did. It was awesome, man.
Does any of that get to your head at all, or can you just feel the street cred of you kind of building in the industry?
Yeah, I don't really let it go to the head, and I just wanted to keep skiing, dude. I just was happy to be established. Well, try to establish a name and build with brands, and yeah, it just took off.
You are building with brands. You're with Dynastar. You've got this U.S. Open podium, and you're filming with MSP for Yearbook, which is crazy. And then I think that's that same year. Is that the first year you go to Japan and get like that Powder Awards winning Best POW segment?
That was later. So that was 2007 was my first trip with Level 1 to Japan that year.
Okay.
So that was a couple few years later. Yeah, that trip was absolutely mind-blowing. Looking back on that trip, it's just like, wow, like I can't believe I went there in 2007. You know, it's almost 20 years ago now. Yeah, what an incredible place. I love Japan. Love the people there. Shout out to my homie Bull. He's the best. Bull, he's the man. But yeah, just skiing out there is a treat. If you can go, you should go. And I think a lot of people are going.
And they are. And how many times have you been able to go on there on skiing's dime?
God, I think I've been there at least 6 or 7 times, maybe more. This year I didn't go. And I was fucking FOMOing super hard because there was no goddamn snow in Colorado or out west at that time, or this January, and it was just firing over there. But yeah, I was the sacrificial lamb, so you guys owe me. Whoever went.
Back to contests, and especially that first year, I think you had like the Orage Masters, you have WSI.
Yeah, there's just so much money into the sport and contests. It was just wild, man. Like, yeah, what was there? Just, you know, Orage Masters, Vermont Open, U.S. Open, like just so much going on. It was, yeah, and then, you know, sprinkling rail jams. People were doing everywhere. I think I did a squaw rail jam once, Palisades, you know, now, and yeah, that was like, I remember winning like $2,500 at a rail jam. It's like, what? That's insane.
Yeah, there was so much going on back then. They were selling a lot of twin tips back then, or at least building the marketing of the sport on twin tips. At one point, I feel like you end up on electric goggles. I don't know exactly when that happens, but you seem like one of those dudes that Jimbo, who was the TM and did a lot of shit over there, he really loves. Like a hardworking, no bullshit, ski bum dude who will do whatever it takes for skiing. And he gives you a pro model. Is it true that your Rasta colorway was like the best-selling colorway in the history of electric?
It is I think it was the number 3 best-selling goggle still, I think they've ever had. Yes.
They still make it, and you still get money off that?
No, they don't make it anymore. I wish. Yeah, no, but Jimbo's the man, and yeah, approached me. God, that must have been probably 2004 or 5. And yeah, electric was awesome, and loved working with those dudes. That was rad, and started their ski division immediately. Like Andy Mayer, God, who else? Anders Bach, I think, Norwegian homie. He's still killing it, doing some crazy shit. I'm seeing some like long jump, switch long jump or some shit he just did. But yeah, no, I mean, Jimbo definitely was also a massive thrust, like helped me out huge in my early days ski career. And yeah, that was rad. Electric days were freaking awesome. And yeah, just they did their pro, the rider design series. And yeah, I just came up, was like, hey, I want to do Jamaican flag vertical, and it crushed, man. Like, went way better. I mean, they're like, who the hell is even this Tanner Rainville kid? Like, how is he selling freaking, yeah, I was pretty sure it's their top 3 selling goggle of all time.
And do you get like $3 for every goggle sold?
I did get a percentage, which thank God went straight to an IRA. Like, retirement, baby.
So you were smart with your money. Like, you invested probably half into your retirement and half into skiing, and then everything else you spent on whatever?
Yeah. God, back in the day, companies, like I said, were willing to sponsor travel, so a lot of that was covered. And yeah, luckily enough, I wasn't an idiot, and stashed some money away. And thank God, man. Like, because yeah, it would sure suck if I spent it all.
Well, yeah, I mean, most people who come on this podcast don't say they stashed anything away. They buy a truck and they buy a bunch of different things. And like, you're one of those dudes that have done it for the longest time. And you're one of those dudes that's also not going to walk away rich from skiing. It's like, you've given a whole lot to skiing, and skiing's given a whole lot back to you, but it hasn't set you up for like your future. But you thought about that in your past, and you're going to be okay because of that.
I mean, yeah, a lot of the winning contests over in Europe and stuff, I was just like, hey, like, you should probably be conscious about these winnings, and yeah, save some money, man, and set myself up later in life, and just being able to continue skiing and not necessarily, making money anymore at all, but like, obviously I want to be involved and have a time with all my friends that, enjoy getting out and keep having a time in the mountains.
But, you say you're not making any money at all, and I think that's probably recently just stopped. But when you think about it, like, I love your style when it comes to being real, because you're quoted in some ESPN article a long time ago saying that being a pro skier is like making less than minimum wage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like you're going to sacrifice a lot if you really dive in and just try and ski for a living. Like, unless you're really crushing it, especially these days, I feel it's even more like you better be winning, dude. It's just not the same anymore either. So I don't know. Even back in the day, like, yeah, like, I mean, obviously skiing, oh yeah, so tough job, like fucking dream. But it was work. And, like, we bust our ass for these companies, and go out there and do it year over year. I mean, it was awesome.
I mean, were you making in your best years, when you think about it, whether it's the contest years or not, are you making 50 to 60 grand a year skiing and then getting a travel budget? Or are you making more or less than that?
No, yeah, I was making a little more the best years for sure.
Like 100 grand in your best year?
I don't know if I ever cracked 6 figures, like contract wise, but maybe I probably got pretty close. A couple of years with like winnings and shit. Maybe, I don't know. I remember like this one contest over in teens, probably cleaned up like, I don't know, fucking $18,000 on a weekend. Pretty good.
That was the Teen Airwaves contest, right?
It was, yeah, it was Teen Airwaves. I was like the precursor to having X Games there, kind of set that whole stage for X Games in Europe.
And what was that like? Because that was your biggest win in your career, I would think, was that Airwaves contest. Was that just like mind blowing?
Yeah, that was rad, man. They went all out, man. Europe's the shit. those guys know how to do it. They celebrate skiing. It's the lifestyle over there. And it was awesome, man. Skiing with Rock 5 and having it Louis Colin Patton and just having a time, man. Those days were really fun.
And then you think back to the X Games, and I would think that's always a dream when you're coming up because you see it.
No, I mean, X Games, honestly, I kind of fucking hated. It's always just like, it's such a production and so hyped up. And like, honestly, I mean, pressure really was like too much. And I had shoulder problems always back then. Dislocated my shoulder real bad, had a surgery, re-injured it again. And just like, yeah, X Games, I was never fully healthy, I felt like, when I competed there. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of would rather focus my time on film segments back then. And that's kind of more so started going, more film. And X Games is just a lot, man. It's just every company throwing money everywhere. And just a lot going on.
I mean, it seems like the spotlight is not something that you like, and maybe pressure is not something that you're built for in that way. And your personality, just because, like, I've been in the ski industry with you for, I think we were in Chile together a couple different years.
Yeah.
Like I've drank beers with you and stuff, but you're never the one that's like gonna stick out. Like I would think being Ski Town famous for you doesn't happen that much. Like only Groms who really like study the movies are like, oh shit, that's Tanner Rainville. But like the random person.
You'd be surprised, bro, dude. I get shout outs all the time, dog.
Okay, my bad.
No, I'm joking. But no, like I just never really felt the need to be front and center, spotlight, and just kind of doing my thing and having a good time and keep it at that and keep on going. And longevity for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you were on that electric team with Andy Mayer. I feel like Andy was the same way. He didn't want the spotlight, but if he had to go do something for a sponsor, he would do it and be happily do it. But he didn't want any of it. He just wanted to ski.
Yeah, we're just skiing, man. That's all that mattered.
That second year in Mammoth, I think you end up living with Iberg and Phil Bellinger. And I don't know Phil. I know Iberg a little bit. That dude's royalty. He's done so much for skiing. And I know he's got a big personality, a big appetite for weed, especially back then. And he kind of set the bar for smoking spliffs back then in the day, I feel like. And you mentioned that you had the Rasta goggle colorway, and I'm guessing it's because you like to smoke a little bit here and there. And what kind of spliff routine were you in compared to Iberg?
It was a pretty heavy rotation back in the day.
I mean, I would think your house is a cloud of smoke at all times, right?
Nah. I mean, some nights, for sure, but like, it's casual. It's always, having a good time on the mountain. And
you're 20 years old. I would think it was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we were partying for sure back then, but like, I'd say, we're having a time. And yeah, I mean, Iberg, sure. All of us, T-Hall, PR. I mean, come on.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's legal. At that point, it wasn't.
It is funny how it's like legal and, back in the day, like, sneaking around with like weed and stuff. Just funny.
Yeah, but I mean, back when you were doing it and I was doing it too, there was two factions almost.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like some people are like, no, and whatever. And others like, yeah, we're just smoking weed.
And like the full party days too. I mean, were you drinking a bunch too and throwing down that way, or is it more focused on skiing and smoking weed and that's it?
Yeah, really honestly, like didn't drink much. I mean, I would, have some drinks, but like when I was younger, I was just skiing, man. Like skiing, smoking some weed and just skiing. A lot of skiing.
And a lot of traveling to ski and going to do different things.
Yeah, a lot of good travels with companies and doing cool shit. I mean, got Candied Invitational back in the day. And me and Vanular just got a lot of good trips with Vanular back then. And I mean, like Keystone used to build a whole park for us for like 2 weeks in the spring for level 1. It's just like, it just doesn't happen anymore. It's wild.
That's such a special thing to be a part of back then. And especially that level 1 crew. Well, all the different film companies, they seemed like they were different crews. The level 1 crew, they'd put 5 people in a hotel room and everybody was like super tight.
I mean, not really. Like, Keystone used to give us condos.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm just thinking about some of like the rail trips and shit like that.
Yeah, totally. That's part of the love of skiing, dude. Just make it happen.
When you think of some of the other stuff that you had to make happen, there was those sketchy stadium jumps. Like, I think, were you at the Ice or Air?
Jesus, dude. Ice or Airs were so sketch.
You were there with the one with the net that they had to put in, and like Kaya destroyed herself, and it was like really, really bad.
So one of my favorite photos ever, the very first year, they did it on Fillmore Street.
And Johnny Mosley was like the host of it then.
Yep. Yeah, and it was sick, dude. I mean, one of my favorite photos ever. Yeah, I got like a 3-op mute and like over the bay. It's insane.
But that was like the cool year. But then when they decided to make it like corporate and they brought like Crocs in and they put it at the baseball stadium, that's when it got dangerous for all the athletes, it seemed like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't get paid. We didn't get paid one year. They didn't even fucking pay anyone. And it's Crocs. They're freaking looted now. we didn't get paid. Did not get paid one of those years. Hilarious.
The funny thing is, K2 hired an NHL guy at that point, and he flew me down to that event with him, and we got behind the scenes tour of everything that was going on there, because K2 wanted to do the exact same thing at the baseball stadium in Seattle. We saw what a shit show that was, and it was like, all right, well, we just wasted a whole lot of money to come down here, but we're not doing an event like this up in Seattle.
Yeah, like, no, we don't need to do that. Freaking Jesus. Yeah, those were funny, man. Those are really funny.
Okay, so my last contest question for you. Have you ever shit your pants and then went on to win a contest?
Oh, of course. Yeah, teens, dude, when I won a bunch of money. So, like, drop into the half pipe and just fucking pump the tranny a little too hard, I guess, and shit myself. And then went on to get, I don't know, second or third or something. But definitely a little shart in the pants.
So when that happens, do you kind of find an area where you can wipe yourself off and clean up? Or is it like, I'm in ski pants, it doesn't matter?
No, I had to freaking go podium, and then I was like, ran out of there. Go shower, and then, yeah.
So you had to go home and shower before you could go out and party because you shit yourself?
Well, yeah, obviously.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I've never won anything nor shit myself before I won anything.
Yeah,
so.
no, it was like, oh, God, like, I can't, like, peace out of here after my run. They'd be like, where the hell's Rainville going? No, it's just too funny. It's probably because those French guys gave me Genepi, motherfuckers.
It's time for my second round of sponsors, and I'm going to start out with Outdoor Research. I could spend a lot of this ad telling you all the tech and why Outdoor Research is better. But know that in the 1980s and the early 90s, Outdoor Research built a reputation on functional quality outdoor gear that pushed the limits of innovative possibilities. And those who were function first were all about OR gear because it was and it still is built better, and Outdoor Research is still pushing those limits of innovation. This year, the outerwear focuses on 3 new collections: the Cloud Chaser for backcountry, and the Powderverse and Hemisphere collections for freeride, as well as some staples in the line like the Snow Crew collection. These outerwear systems are styled for and by athletes like Mark Adma, Troy Podnosak, Zoe Aitken, snowboarder Neil Provo, and others, and that's why this outerwear collection not only looks so good, but each piece is more functional than ever, and they're all you're going to need in any conditions. To find out more about the new collection, head on over to OutdoorResearch.com. My final sponsor this round is Best Day Brewing, and now is the time to think snow. And skiers, snowboarders, weekend warriors, tubers, sledders, snowbikers, snowmobilers, snowshoers, sled doggers, shovel racers, snow angel makers, ice skaters, snowball fighters, igloo builders, you get it. The doers of winter are starting to get ready to shred, and post-shred, it's all about après. And this year, do après the right way. Forget about the calories, forget about the alcohol, forget about not taking more runs on the mountain, forget about getting in trouble on the way home, because with a beer from Best Day Brewing, you don't have to worry about any negative consequences, just incredible flavor. Blind taste tests prove that you won't be able to taste the difference between a Best Day and your favorite beer with alcohol. The only difference you'll notice is how good you'll feel in the morning, and you're going to remember what you did last night, which is almost refreshing as a Best Day itself. To celebrate your best day yet, next time you're at the store, pick up a 6-pack of Best Day. Or you can always buy it on your Alaska Airlines flight, Amazon.com, or head on over to bestdaybrewing.com to get the full assortment of Best Days. Those are my sponsors. Now it's time to jump back into the podcast. What was the end of competing for you? Like, why did you decide to just hang it up? Was it just pressure and you had the opportunity to film?
It wasn't really a defining moment. Just kind of I mean, God, did a lot of those, like Garage Masters and Red Bull Cold Rush. All those were super fun. And then, like, I don't know, just growing up and doing more film segments and just kind of growing out of the contest scene, I guess, just kind of naturally happened, really. It wasn't like I'm fucking over contests, It's just kind of grew out of it.
You just woke up one day and you weren't really competing and you didn't have anything lined up that you're going to go do.
Yeah, and I never felt pressure from sponsors weren't like, oh, Rainville, you have to like go do this contest. It wasn't like that at all. So it was kind of up to me. And yeah, I just went elsewhere skiing wise. I wasn't really super focused on contests, I'd say.
You say sponsors weren't really pushing you to do anything, but you did have a sponsor change. I don't know how and when Dynastar ended for you, but that was like a huge thing for your early part of your career. What was the end of Dynastar?
I don't know. Yeah, it just kind of ended. It was like, that's it. And yeah, I guess that's when I, hit up Volkl and started skiing with Volkl, and they helped me out, and obviously done tons with them.
Well, there was a period when I met you, you were on Klint skis, which was, I didn't even know what Klint was.
Yeah, Klint was a startup, 100% Lido Bernard. It's 100% eyewear now. It's the same guy. He tried to start up ski company and just didn't work out. I can't really speak to why it never worked out, but that was just a fun few years there and funny how it worked out, and just ended up getting on Volkl and got back with a established brand, and tons with Volkl these days and love them.
I would think when you don't get offered a contract from Dynastar that first time, because that's probably your first time getting rejected by skiing, where it's like you're expecting a contract or whatever.
Yeah, I honestly don't even remember why or how that ended. It just kind of ended, and it ended for everybody, right? Like the whole troublemaker thing. I guess probably their budget was spent after they had 3 years or 4 years, or the hell it was, and it was kind of just done, and everyone kind of just moved on.
Was it a hit to the ego at all, or was it just like, okay, I'll figure out what's next?
Yeah, it's kind of just, figure it out. I mean, it wasn't bad blood. We had great times, and it's kind of just, is what it is. Ski companies move budgets around, and we just move on.
And when you think about great times, like I said, around Klint is when I met you. I feel like one of the most fun contests that I was a part of was that Eye of the Condor contest, where you go to Chile in the summertime and ski season turns on and it's a week-long party with a video contest going on. When you think of fun contests for you, what was the most fun that you had? Because I'm sure you had a ton of different trips that were all awesome, but what was the best?
Oh, my God, no, I wouldn't be able to narrow it down, man. I mean, there's too many. I love the team ones, like Brutalic and Mirage Master. The Mirage Masters, I guess, actually. If I were to narrow it down, the Mirage Masters, Dynastar, when we won, that was probably it for me. That was awesome.
Wait, did you guys win as Boy Scouts? Was that year?
No, we were orange jumpsuits. The hell were we?
Was it Whistler?
No, that was in Mammoth.
Okay.
Yeah, Mammoth. I wanted a freaking snowmobile.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that alone, started my backcountry fucking skiing. I was like, holy shit, I'm a snowmobile now. I should do this.
So that's really what the kicker was. It wasn't like you're competing, you're doing all these things, but really, you win a snowmobile and that changes the direction of your ski career.
Pretty much.
Oh, it's so amazing. And then changing the direction back to a reputable brand, not that Klint wasn't, but nobody had heard of Klint. But the team that you got on with Volkl was insane. I mean, you had Marcus, Ahmet, Patty Graham, Sam Smoothie, Fabio, Coulter. Was it like winning the lottery, getting onto a team like that with a cool brand?
It was stacked. Well, I just knew I kind of aligned with all those guys and ski similar. And it worked out back then with, level one and where they're allocating budget, and I was so hyped to get on them back then. And, kept it going, and then we built the new ski line still, the Revolt 121, and produced that and Shinka Man in Europe. with Volkl, and just super grateful for them. Like, they've obviously helped me out huge, and it's been a pleasure to work with those guys and still talk to all of them and give them feedback and whatnot, and keep it going. Like, but back then, like, I was obviously like definitely stressing after Klint, like, kind of disintegrated and was whatever. But super thankful to get on Volkl and feel a little safe.
I mean, you were safe, and you really had no break in your career ever from filming. I mean, I guess you had Under Armour, which is another great brand to have because they were breaking into skiing, and they looked to you as one of their main dudes, and they had deep pockets, so I'm sure that helped you out. Did you get any cool experiences with Under Armour because they were like in team sports and other shit as well?
As far as like other sport experiences, not really. Just like deep pockets for Under Armour, dude. Like, they definitely balled out and had some cool trips, and those were great years. I mean, we definitely built up their outerwear division, and then it was over as quick as it started, unfortunately. But that's a big brand for you.
Yeah, it's crazy how they're willing to invest a lot of money and then just say, see ya, once they don't see the return on the investment within the 4 years they've allocated.
Yeah, they just keep it going. They start it and then keep it running, but they don't have to pay anyone.
Oh, are they still making outerwear?
Oh, yeah. Not targeted, but they absolutely do. So, I don't know. It's whatever. That was definitely a thank you for the paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, all these people that we're talking about, the fact that they were willing to pay you money to do what you love to do, it's like thank you for every single person that ever paid you.
I think Matchstick probably bought $200,000 in new cameras from them. But, that's the deal.
You say Matchstick, and when you think about just the movies that you were in, I know Matchstick, you got back into them with Volkl, it seemed like. When you think of, like, early on, it was Yearbook that got people talking about you. Later on, people would say Turbo was your highlight. But then, like, full circle moment, Fade to Winter, everybody started talking about that one again, so it's back to Matchstick. But when you think about your favorite video part over the years, what would that be?
Definitely Turbo. Hands down. That's my most proud segment, I think, and just, like, biggest breakthrough kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of other segments I'm super proud of and whatever. And God, even filming with Big Picture, Chris Logan, Parker, like, those times are stand out in my mind. I love what those guys have done and what we did years ago. And I don't know. Hard to put a favorite, but Turbo is definitely seems a fan favorite.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you think about the depth and breadth of your career, that's the one that really sticks out. When you think about going to Alaska, is that place something you froth and want to go back to all the time? Or are you more of like a Japan, I need to go there kind of guy?
AK is just a fickle beast, man. It's freaking so hard to get it good up there. I'd always want to go back if we could get it good, but it's just so fucking hard and so expensive. Yeah, I'm super thankful for all the trips I did get to do up there, but it's like, it's just so tough. Like, it's so freaking hard up there, my God. For ease, like, my favorite place, goddamn British Columbia, dude. Go to British Columbia. It's the best. Love Canadians. Love you guys.
And then when you think about the part that you were bummed on, where I'm sure that you weren't like super bummed, but like you ski a whole year and then these movie companies, they kind of edit your footage and they represent you how they want to. I don't think you're sitting in the editing bay. Have you ever like seen it come out and be like, oh man, that's not exactly what I want it to look like?
I mean, not really. Like, there's always like enough influence where I'm like, hey, fuck, if I didn't love it. But no, I've never really been upset with anything. I think I'm probably easier going than, a lot of people too. And I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, you seem like a really chill, laid-back guy who, if you wanted to, like you said, you only made $100,000 like 1 or 2 times. But if you wanted to, based on what you did your whole career, and you had the personality that was like, "Hey, pay me and do this and do this and do this," I bet you could have gotten a lot more money in your career. Or you were made to have an agent, so you didn't have to advocate for yourself. But it's just, I don't even know where I'm going with it. But you've had this crazy, crazy long career, and now I think you did a little bit of electrician work for a little while. Was that what you were doing post full-on pro skier?
No, like I kind of in the summer times, like realized like, hey, I need, got to keep busy and have a job, and started doing electrical work and still do a lot of electrical work. Fucking wired on Delorme's house and a couple homies' houses and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, doing that now, and also just a property manager. So doing that keeps me busy, and yeah, I mean, still with the goal of skiing as much as I can.
Your whole life has been that. Your whole ski career, you've used skiing as a vehicle to keep you skiing all over the world. And you've put some money away for the future, but really everything's about you being a ski bum and skiing. I can see why Jimbo loves you so much, just because that's your personality of like, you want to ski.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's what I wanted to focus. I mean, like I'm very definitely just want to ski. I mean, I love it. It's my life. It's provided a lot, and I just want to, enjoy it and keep it going. It's fucking rad. I love being in the mountains with friends and sharing experiences. And travel, and yeah, it's the best in my mind. And yeah, that's the goal.
All right, man. Well, that is the podcast. But at this point, where it's time for something that I call inappropriate questions. And this is where I get a friend of yours to ask 3 questions, and they can be anything.
Who was it?
Oh, you don't know yet. I was able to get a dude that you were with who's sitting there right now. And you've known Chris Logan since he was like a kid. And he followed in your footsteps, and you followed in his big brothers. And he's had a career like yours. And Chris was able to come up with 3 inappropriate questions. And are you ready for question number 1 from Chris?
Let's hear it.
All right, let's go. I'm going to start it right now.
What's up, TR? Yeah, question 1. Just curious if you could tell us about, it's kind of ironic you're back in Cooke City doing this interview right now, but your fun little trip a couple years ago, having a little mortar fun late night in Cooke City, waking up everybody in town. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Oh boy, yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, just take your fireworks out of town. But one night we had a little too much fun, and I was throwing mortars out the back door and pissed everyone off, and the whole town yelled at me, and that was that. Like, I was just saying, big deal.
What do you mean the whole town yelled at you?
I mean, the town is tiny, so pretty much we kept everyone up all night, and people were like, "What the hell were you guys doing?" Like, come on, it was probably 2 a.m. It was a bad look. I feel bad about it, but good times.
All right, we're gonna go to question number 2.
Question number 2. Give us a little intel on Tara and some of the fun you've had with her out in Green Mountain Res back in the day.
Tara's a babe. She makes all the girls jealous. Tara's our boat, dude. And we've had a hell of a time, just a couple buddies, we all get together, but old boat, we have a time, and everyone's just yelling Tara babe, and my God, yeah, we've made people jealous.
All right, I think that is more inside joke than outside joke, but I guess we'll have to see a picture of Tara maybe to understand. I don't know, but we're going to go into your last inappropriate question. Here we go.
Question number 3. TR's been around doing it for a long, long time. I know he spent a bunch of time skiing over in Europe through contests and filming segs, and they like to, do a lot of après ski over there. So I just want to maybe hear a story or 2 that he's got that comes to mind from partying in Europe from his days of skiing over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say teens again, I think after winning Big Air, man, God, I can't even remember. There's a champagne sponsor, and it was ridiculous, dude. Like, they had red freaking rope,
Velvet ropes.
Yeah, velvet rope section for me in the bar, dude. That was pretty incredible, and we just had bottles of champagne all night, and it was a party, man. It was well attended, and that was wild. That was one of the wilder parties I've had after a contest. There's a lot of good parties in Europe, but that was off the hook.
I mean, and you shit your pants earlier and had that party afterwards.
And I shit my pants earlier, yeah. And how does it get better? Shit your pants, win money, have a private freaking VIP champagne party. Like, come on.
I mean, did you take a girl home?
I did. I went home with a girl that night.
Yeah, that's how it gets better. I wonder if she smelled the shit in your pants in the room, and it doesn't matter.
Who knows? There could have been 2 that night. What a deal.
No way. Like 2 at one time?
I don't know. It was at one time.
You'd remember that, though. You'd remember if that happened.
Yeah, it wasn't 2 at once, but
Okay.
there was, yeah, you know. To be young again, brother.
To be young and talented and win things. It's not just being young, because we were all young, but not all of us could shit our pants, go get in a velvet roped area, drink champagne all night, then
True,
take
dude.
2 girls home.
Big deal. That's a big deal.
Well, we can all aspire to do that one day. That's Inappropriate Questions, and that's our podcast. And looking at your career, it's incredible that you were able to get by so long on just incredible ski talent. Because, like, as a team manager, I always told people that it was all about more than just ski talent. Like, some people had to mix their great skiing in with personality, with bravado, with a look, with an attitude. But outside of consistency and redefining how different butters can look, you've just skied, like, for 25 years, and you haven't put a shit ton into social media. You're not out there like trying to get yourself in the mags. You do ads when your brands want you to do them, but you're not out there doing interviews either. It's something that you just like feel like you should do. Like you were reluctant to do this one, and I thank you for doing it. But you're one of those dudes that has just done it for the love, has been paid for 20 some odd years, and you should be stoked that like you have a 20 some odd year history that's visible online of your career, and that's amazing, man. Thank you for telling your story.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. And yeah, it's been absolutely incredible. And God, thank everybody, you know, that I've worked with over the years. And just let's keep her going, man. Like that, you know, it's like freaking stock guys say, only price pays, man. Just keep skiing and shit takes care of itself, man. It's really just a consistency thing, you know. Just keep stacking. Fuck yeah, brother.
So that was time with Tanner Rainville, and what a rocket ship of a career from the beginning. I mean, the dude moved out to Mammoth at 18, beat Tanner Hall at a contest at the US Open, and then the industry was at the palm of his hands. While some people would take that momentum and get an agent and maximize the dollars, and most likely have a shorter career, Tanner chose the opposite, working with sponsor budgets, never pushing, and always taking the next great ski trip. While Tanner did think about his future, he thought about skiing a whole lot more. And in this business, passion always wins. And it's that passion that's kept Tanner Rainville stoked while everyone else has gotten burned out. That's the podcast. At this point, I want to thank you for listening, ask you to review me wherever you listen, and tell a friend about the show. Also, if you're going to be at Palisades for the Payne McSchlonky in March, please let me know. I'd love to give you a high five, maybe have a beer. That also goes for the Hestival in Colorado this May. I'll be on the mic, and that's going to be an awesome time too. But what will be awesome before that is the Rails and Ales event that I'm emceeing next weekend in Wenatchee. I'll be on the mic. There'll be 5,000 people in downtown Wenatchee. A ski and snowboard rail jam will be going on, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If I don't see you there, that's okay. You can still support my incredible sponsors who make this podcast happen here. What I want you to do is listen to their ads and buy their products. And the brands that I'm talking about are Elan Skis, Outdoor Research, Best Day Brewing, and Insta360 action cameras. Have a great week, everyone.